Hi, my name is Justin Cook. I'm really excited to have everybody here for our third Quick 30, the EverLast webinar series. Like I said, my name is Justin Cook. I'm your host. Today we actually have with us is Cody Hadley. He's our lighting professional. How's it going, Cody?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Cody, give us a little bit of idea about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been with EverLast for almost 6 years now. I actually started building fixtures when we were an induction lighting manufacturer, and over a short period of time just learned the product quickly and commanded the respect of my peers and became a team leader. And it wasn't too long after that, actually, that I was promoted into the sales department. Spent the last better half of a year as the regional sales manager, taking on some added responsibilities in the department, and I love it. I love what I do. Personal information about me, though, I live here in Jackson, Michigan, so big supporter of small businesses like Full Spectrum Solutions or EverLast Lighting. Getting ready to celebrate my son's first birthday, so I'm a new father. Graham is his name, in case you were wondering. I'm a diehard, not just a U of M football fan, but really Michigan sports in general. So big sports enthusiast and love to be outdoors. So.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you being here, Cody. We're excited to get to learn a little bit more. And actually today we're going to be looking at lighting high school gyms, 201. So it's going to be a little bit more of a deep dive into that area. So we're excited to have everybody on. Kind of specifically what we'll be looking at, we're going to be looking at a few things. We're looking at getting your foot in the door, looking at the budgets, what we do with that, timing, and then also fixture selection. So kind of getting it started off. I guess the most important thing with this one, and the biggest question I have is, getting your foot in the door, I'm sure that has a lot to do with the kind of the number of schools that you're looking at.
Absolutely. So, there's actually nearly 40,000 high school gyms in the nation alone, and that's not including secondary schools, colleges, or recreation centers. There's tons of opportunity in the sector, and a plethora of customers literally just begging to be told how they can improve their aesthetics, safety, as well as reduce their carbon footprint and lower maintenance costs. Who wouldn't want to do that? The time to act is now.
Well, absolutely. And I think with the quantity of schools that you're looking at, I see that it's extremely important to get out to there and have that focus. But as you're looking at it, with getting your foot in the door, what do you need to do?
Well, you need to maintain your relationships. First and foremost, right? So, there's plenty of different avenues that you can take, some of which are a little more beneficial than others, of course. The most important contact to maintain, truthfully, are the specifiers, architects, and engineers. Over time, these contacts will gain familiarity and trust with your product. Given that they have projects coming to them on a regular basis, it's important that those relationships be maintained so that they're consistently thinking of the EverLast brand. Beyond them, of course, there are plenty of contacts within each school district that can be utilized as useful resources. Points of contact such as coaches, maybe maintenance staff, could be a school board official or even a superintendent are all helpful because they can clearly explain their displeasure with current lighting and more specifically detail exactly what it is that they're looking for in a lighting solution.
And I would kind of assume, as important it is to really keep in contact with those specifiers and architects and engineers and really all those pretty important people in determining that. A lot of it goes back to those coaches and, like you said, maintenance staff and superintendents because the budget comes from them.
True. All schools generally preach that their budget is very tight, and they usually are. These types of projects, they're not spur of the moment. These projects are discussed months in advance in order to schedule or pencil that monetary amount into their budget for the upcoming year. Or maybe at times they stumble across some leftover money at year's end. It's critical that all rebates available are taken advantage of to reduce the ROI as much as possible. Selling these projects, based solely on ROI can be very difficult, though. Some gymnasiums may only have their lights on for a few hours of the day. EverLast's ability to provide a highly efficient, quality, DLC-listed fixture will put you in a great position from square one.
Well, I know with that, being able to connect that back, and give us an example of how a rebate worked on that end.
Well, for example, we did a school not too far from us, Farmington Hills Public Schools, about 80 miles down the road. 50 to 60 high bays, not a huge gymnasium, but respectable in size. And right off the bat, they were $100 just in rebates. with nearly 24,000, kilowatt hours saved. That saves them about $1,800 a year, just in energy. And it had them ballparked at about a 3-year ROI, which in my opinion is pretty respectable for a gymnasium project.
Well, and again, it goes back to that aspect that you've talked about in the importance of those rebates, being able to connect with those schools, get in to where you need to. Again, going back to get your foot in the door of the coaches and the specifiers and engineers. I'm sure it's a great selling point.
It absolutely is.
For sure. Well, I know another great one is focusing on when's the best time to go out there? When should you go out and start getting into those schools and trying to get some fixtures into there?
I don't know if there is necessarily a best time, but there are 3 specific times of the year. I think that you'll set yourself up for success if you target those dates. I found that with those 3 times they can be capitalized on, and all have one thing in common is that school is closed. Whether it be summer break, spring break, or the holiday season, they're all perfect times to either present or close your gymnasium lighting project. While school is in session, of course, it's very difficult to close the gym for long periods of time due to during and after school activities. Now, I've noticed that presenting a lighting solution shortly after the new year may be your best bet. There are plenty of contacts that will be able to provide you their opinion on their current lighting, maybe coming off of basketball or wrestling season. It gives you about 4 to 5 months to present or pitch your solution. Given that you guys, of course, are all expert, sales reps, your customer will surely commit to the project. And that gives you the entire summer to get everything in order and installed.
Well, I really do think, especially with schools, I know it's hard to get into there. Like you said, during that school year, you got kids playing, you got different stuff going on, sports. So great advice focusing on those breaks, whether it is Thanksgiving or Christmas or spring or summer, allowing those schools to really have that good focus. So kind of getting into that and looking at getting into there with timing and focusing on that budget, how we get our foot in the door. A lot of that goes back to the fixtures that you provide to them. So give us an idea of what we need to do to make sure we get the right fixture selection.
Sure. While these types of projects can be made very simple, it's important to remember that not all gymnasium projects should be approached with a one-size-fits-all mentality. You may have a multi-purpose gymnasium where the bleachers compress into the wall and the entire space has multiple uses. In that instance, it may make sense to use the same wattage unit across the board. You may also have a gymnasium geared towards specific sporting events where it may make more sense to provide a very high light levels over the court, but use lower wattage units over the bleachers. That draws people's attention to the action while minimizing focus on surrounding activities, mainly people sitting in the stands. Higher profile locations at times prefer more focus, emphasize on the specific activity instead of the entire space. EverLast carries hundreds of variations of the LED high bay. In our HL15D series high bay, wattages include 100 watt, 150 watt, 200 watt, and 240 watt, with corresponding lumen packages that range from 16,000 lumens to nearly 39,000 lumens. In some instances, your application may require a lumen package higher than 39,000 lumens. Don't worry, EverLast has an offering for those projects too. In our high lumen series high bay, EverLast can offer a 3, 4, and 500 watt high bay, with corresponding lumen packages ranging from 39,000 lumens to nearly 65,000 lumens.
Wow.
In most instances, though, the voltage requirement stays between 120 volt and 277. Regardless, EverLast manufactures our LED high bays to operate from 120 to 277, offers a high voltage accommodation that operates on 200 to 480 volt.
That's fantastic.
Also, EverLast offers a variety of ways to mount and power our LED high bay. EverLast can provide a hook, eye bolt, or an MPC adapter of various sizes to mount these fixtures. Most commonly, though, the hook will always suffice and is offered at no additional charge, so it's kind of a bonus.
Absolutely.
Beyond that, EverLast can provide cords of any length, both standard cords and armored whips. To accompany those cords are a variety of different plugins. While this option largely depends, of course, on the voltage requirement, I've seen that a twist lock plug almost always accompanies an LED high bay built for a gymnasium. The slight price increases up front is always cheaper than having a contractor make those accommodations while on site. Not only will it save your customer money on material, but it should save time and money on installation as well.
Well, and absolutely, I'm kind of listening to that and getting a little bit of an idea of what is offered, and whether it's the different wattages or the voltage or the mounting options or what we have in plug options. It sounds a lot like, to me, and I think you said it, is deals with options and deals with that you can get a pretty specific fixture to what you need. So a lot of that connects back to those options, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Speaking on options, reflectors. It kind of brings me back to my previous statement, though. Not every gymnasium project should be approached with a one-size-fits-all mentality. EverLast offers 3 different over-optic options and 9 reflector options that can be used with our HL15B series high bay. Making these spaces appear as large as possible should definitely be a priority. The best way to accomplish this is by presenting a fixture that promotes uplight. This will eliminate the cave effect that is commonly experienced when using an LED high bay that pushes most of its light downwards. The best way to achieve uplight is to use either an acrylic or polycarbonate reflector. These 2 options will allow you to distribute light widely and help eliminate dark spots. Uplight can be increased a bit more by including either a polycarbonate uplight cone or a polycarbonate bubble lens instead of the traditional clear flat glass lens that is traditionally used on LED high bays. Both reflector options provide about the same amount of uplight and distribute light in the same manner. The main difference is durability. Polycarbonate reflectors carry a considerable amount of impact modifier, which simply makes these reflectors very robust and impact resistant. It's good to stress to the customer that they should protect their investment and select an offering that will withstand the potentially abusive environment that these fixtures are installed in. Taking protective measures one step further, we all know gymnasiums are not friendly to light fixtures. I'm sure everyone still remembers being a kid in gym class. It may have been kickball, dodgeball, or simply in my case, an early season baseball practice that was moved into the gym due to weather. In either instance, there are flying objects that are destined to smack these fixtures. Whether it's polycarbonate or acrylic, it won't withstand a hit from a flying object hurtling through the air due to these children below that may or may not be on a destructive warpath. You'll end up with shards of reflector falling to the ground, and nobody wants that. It's ridiculously important that any acrylic, or polycarbonate reflector be completely protected by a full fixture birdcage. EverLast birdcage will surround any size reflector that we offer and will drastically reduce the chances of a flying object breaking the fixture's reflector. This option is secured to the heat sink, most importantly, so that the fixture so it's rigid and withstands hits from just about any normal gymnasium activity that may take place. If the birdcage isn't an option, using an acrylic or a polycarbonate reflector likely isn't an option either. In those cases, we can either use the LED module in its base form without a reflector, or we can pair it with an aluminum reflector, promoting 100% of the light emitted downwards. In that scenario, uplight is not completely eliminated, as the floors are usually very reflective, causing some degree of light to reflect back towards the ceiling. Optic, we've got a couple options as well. A wire guard can accompany the bottom of the aluminum reflector to ensure that no objects will damage that glass optic, or in instances where glare might be a concern, you can simply use the additional optic options that we discussed before, whether it be bubble lenses or an uplight cone, to minimize the glare that can be experienced when using just a clear flat glass optic.
Well, absolutely. And I like the idea of being able to have the options and being able to build off of that. And it's a great fixture, looking at being able to focus that light down low, but still get that light bouncing off the ceiling, especially when you're looking at the acrylic and looking at the polycarbonate. And even as you get into that aluminum reflector, having it directed downward. But I would think there might be some variation out there to really have a focus on having a fixture that points directly upward.
That's true. A direct lighting high bay isn't the only way to light a gymnasium. And maybe in some applications where maybe they high-profile volleyball team, for example, and glare is a very big concern. Maybe they have a very, very bright white reflective ceiling that we want to take advantage of. EverLast ACE indirect LED high bay, no pun intended, is your ace in the hole. It's simply the same fixture that we've been producing for a couple of years now. Super high lumen packages, or the standard, 100 to 240 watt lumen packages that we're all used to seeing. We kind of flip everything upside down, and it creates for the perfect indirect lighting fixture. With a wire guard that covers the top, you don't have to worry about objects falling inside the fixture, and it's very robust and durable, given that we use our 30-inch aluminum reflector inverted to build this fixture. And beyond that, we can make this look even cooler for you or your customer, and maybe use that school's logo and put it on a decal and print it and stick it to the underside of that fixture. kind of really giving that school some brand recognition and giving them, more importantly, a gymnasium that they can be proud of.
Well, I think no matter what, with one of these fixtures, whether it's our ACE fixture or a high lumen fixture, whatever it is, I'm sure they're going to be proud of it. But I think this is a great option for people to be able to have, like you said, whether it's in a volleyball situation, an auditorium, anything like that people are able to put this into. So, well, I really appreciate giving a really good overview of what we're looking at and getting into those high school gyms. Kind of to dive in a little bit outside of this and put a little bit more focus on with EverLast and what we're doing. I wanted to give a little bit of a marketing update to everyone and touch on what's available. You guys right now are on this quick 30 webinar, our third one, which we're excited to have everybody on. Again, this is something that actually it's recorded. You're going to be able to have this video. This will be sent to you, so you can watch it again and again. Voices. There's other different materials and marketing materials that we have that we've worked on to make sure that we make it easier on you guys to go out there and sell EverLast product. And one of those is our case studies. What we've done with those is we've gone into our different projects that we're really proud of and put out what the information is on that project into a case study that we're able to get out to you. Another one is a quick hitter. That's a one page. You can get out to one of your customers, your distributors, your contractors, whatever you need to make sure that you guys are successful. So we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep having to focus on getting you out the best marketing materials to make sure you guys are successful. One of the other things we want to discuss is actually get your rep training. Sign up for that today. What we want to make sure to do is get out and get you guys involved with the rep training, and that means getting you on a webinar or coming your way. Please make sure to get in contact with the regional sales manager. That's either myself, Justin, Cody Hadley, or Brian Schultz. We're trying to really get those done, if we can, before 2019, so we can get the ball rolling then. Again, we really appreciate you coming and spending a little bit of time with us and going over high school gyms. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to contact your regional sales manager. Any of us would be happy to answer anything that you need, get a quote to you, whatever you need, let us know. We look forward to hopefully seeing you in December and January and going over some more products and doing a little bit more of a deep dive into some different things. So thank you for attending. Stay tuned.